Welcome back, everyone. Welcome back. Hope you enjoyed that lovely brutal OST as we have returned with the grand finals, a grand finale, papi, of ESL Open Cup Americas number 213. Again, this is the IEM edition, of this tournament where many of the players, of course, were busy traveling. Clem was traveling. A lot of the Koreans were traveling. As a result, they were not a part of this tournament. Again, this is a replay cast as we ourselves were also traveling and I was unable to cast this live, but now we're here to catch up on what happened last week. And we have quite an interesting finals. I was not expecting this. MaxPax versus Wayne as our finalists. I was expecting Nightmare or Classic or DRG or one of the other Koreans to make their way through, but alas, they weren't quite able to make a deep run. Nightmare was denied. I don't think Classic was a part of the tournament, and instead Wayne has risen up. He's risen up here to meet up and to face off against MaxPax. Let's go. I'm here for it. I am ready for it. And game one is going to be taking place on Solaris. Let's go. Let us go. Again, we've already gotten a taste of what Wayne has to offer in this matchup, but that's a little bit misleading because if you remember, for the most part, Wayne was reacting to the aggressive builds of Nightmare. Nightmare game 1 went for a 2-gate opener into Robo into Disruptor drops. In game number 2, he went for a Void Ray opener into 6-gate Blink Stalkers instead. So Nightmare was just insanely aggressive here, and it looks like I may have found myself in yeah, hold on. Wrong game. Wait, what? My apologies. May have found myself in the wrong replay. My apologies. I'm blind. I'm a little bit blind. There we go. As game 1 is going to be on Golden Aura. Look, it's late, okay? It's 6 p.m. It's 8 p.m. here in Poland, okay? I still haven't recovered from IM, papi. Aye. Not like this. There we go. Here we go. We're diving into game number 1. We already covered, of course, Wayne versus Nightmare. And now we're getting into Wayne versus MaxPax. And spawning in the top left-hand corner of Golden Aura, we have our red Zerg player representing Starlight Twinkle. It is Wayne. And spawning in the bottom right hand corner, we have as opponent, we have the blue Protoss player from the land of Denmark representing Sidestorm Gaming, the best Protoss in all of Europa. It is MaxPax. Here we go. It all comes down to this. It all comes down to this final series here between Wayne and MaxPax. This final best of 5. As a reminder, it's going to be a best of 5, not a best of 3, so we will be able to sink our teeth into that many more games. Personally, I always hope that we can get an ace match. I always hope we can go all the way, the distance, all the way to game number 5. We'll see if we can get there as Wayne is forced to take the unnatural natural. Here on Golden Aura, that's quite interesting, quite terrifying. The rush distance by ground on this map is a little bit shorter, so you can be quite assertive and aggressive on this map, especially from the side of the Protoss. So we'll see if MaxPax tries to take advantage of this situation and goes for a Twilight Council opener. We'll keep an eye on the tech of choice from MaxPax. Again, in this matchup, he usually doesn't really divert too far away from standard openers and standard builds. I expect most, if not every single game from MaxPax to be a Stargate opener into Oracle, into a third base, but we'll see if he does kind of go for a more aggressive build at some point. Meanwhile, Wayne back at home just going Hatch Gas Pool. Again, his base location is a little bit more further out and it's a little bit more awkward to defend. Not impossible, just awkward. Just uncomfortable for the Zerg. And we'll see how Wayne can handle himself here against the first initial adepts of MaxPax. For now, we're just going to be saturating our bases. Spawning pool is done. Queens are on the way. And we are settling into game number 1. Alas, I'm not privy to the vetoes, but I imagine Equilibrium, I imagine Radisson Station, even Alcyone. Imagine some of these larger maps were vetoed. as we have our take of choice, and it is in fact going to be that Stargate. Again, as close to the edge as possible, just to minimize the travel distance that this Oracle has to take to get across the map to get into a mineral line. So it should be a triple Oracle opener into that third. Again, this is what I expect from MaxPax in every single game. Again, we'll see if he ever does deviate away. If he does, we'll make sure to freak out. We'll make sure to point it out if it ever happens. But standard openers should be the norm for MaxPax. As a result, Wayne could try to take advantage of him. Could try to take advantage of maybe the more standard play from his opponent. For now, Adept does shade across the map. Manages to get a Ling. And it will back off from there. So very just reserved play here from MaxPax. Doesn't want to lose this Adept. If he does lose the first Adept, then that can snowball out of control. And it's going to be so much more difficult to hold on to your third. The third base is going to be that much more vulnerable if that does happen. Good Eva Chamber block here towards the left. Adept stays shade to the right. So we do focus on one of those drones. We do get one, but good target firing here at Wayne. He does focus on one of the Adepts already. Very nice pick off. Unfortunately, there aren't really that many more Lings here to take advantage of that. There we go. 6 Lings are moving out across the map, trying to chase down that final Adept as the Oracle does move in towards the main. Does head in between the bases. Actually headed towards the natural instead. Queens are in position. And we will force back that Oracle. At the same time, Lings get across the map as well. We do get a surround. Oh, we try to. Yeah, a little bit awkward there. The Adept does fall, but we do not delay the expansion. And we get 3 drones in the main. Ooh, did I say 3? 4 workers in the main base would take a little bit of hull damage, but for 4 drones, that is well worth it for MaxPax. A solid start. He comes back in. Oh my god. Getting a little bit greedy. Takes additional damage. But again, there just weren't enough Lings to deny the base itself or to get here in time to focus on the probe. So the third base is getting up and running. Oracles are on the way. Dipping between the bases. Oh my god. Taking a lot of hull damage though. Again, MaxPax getting a little bit too cavalier, but he does find his way into the main base. Gets another couple of drones. 9 workers in total. Very good damage here. Does recall back home. Doesn't lose a single Oracle. And with that MaxPax, he has dealt the damage he's been looking for. His Oracles are going to be able to keep this third base alive. And we can move out with our third Oracle, plus Adepts. The aggression just does not end. And Wayne has been struggling a little bit here. How many Lings do we have? 3. Uh-oh. We only have 3 Lings. We have a handful of Queens. We are pushing in. It looks like MaxPax is going to be just denying creep, getting on top of the 4th base. He isn't committing to the shade. And we have our follow-up. As the Oracle tries to find some damage, but is going to be shut down. He's going to be cornered here in the top left-hand corner of the map. Oracle's going to get 1 more drone. This hatchery taking a lot of damage, and we do actually go for it. Oh my god. With the DPS of these Oracles, it looks like we may force a cancel. It's going to be close. It is going to be close here. But with the help of these Queens, it looks like we do force a shade, and we hold onto the hatchery just barely. The base will stand strong. Behind this, MaxPax is working towards a Blink, +1, standard follow-up. Again, nothing out of the norm. And the Adepts, they are going to be looking to delay the 4th base if at all possible. They're here on the right-hand side. Sorry, the 5th base. As the 4th does get up and running. Down to half HP, it is vulnerable here to an attack later on down the line. And this time we should force a cancel on this hatchery. And a kill on the drone. Wayne's 5th is denied. MaxPax working on his own 4th base. Building up his gateway count. He's got a decent Stalker army back at home. Shield batteries are on the way. Wayne is setting up for a bit of a counterattack here. He could try and get on top of the 4th at least. But we have a cannon in production, so not going to be the easiest base to deny it. As Wayne is going to be committed here to Lingbane Roach Ravager. He's been able to drone up to 63. That is 3 base saturation. He hasn't taken additional gases yet, but as I say that, there we go. A 4th gas is on the way. Roaches are amassing, and Wayne, he's working towards the mid game with that Lingbane Roach Ravager army. Meanwhile, MaxPax is going very tech heavy, and Wayne doesn't know this. We have a second Robo on the way and a Robotics Bay that is for double Colossus production, and that typically would force a reaction from the Zerg player to go into Lurker Tech, or into Hive Tech in general. But Wayne doesn't know. He is unaware of the transition here of MaxPax. Is unaware. Good force field. Good stasis trap on the right-hand side. Does push forward. That hatchery is still low from earlier. Again, good bile out of Wayne. Setting up first round as well. The Lings, they catch some reinforcements. They come in from behind. And Wayne will force back this army. At the same time, going for a Ling counter-attack, but we have plenty of reinforcements back at home. Good reaction out of MaxPax. Does warp in, does defend. Is bleeding out a lot of these Stalkers, though. And he gets cornered. 2, 3, 4 Stalkers go down. Very nice pickles here from Wayne. And he can keep on pushing. He has momentum. And he's going for it. Oh, actually, no. Pulling back. He does have 16 more Lings on the way. He has 7 more Roaches as well. Looks like he's consolidating his army first. Waiting for his Banelings. And then pushing. Now, what is our 4th base looking like? We have a cannon. We have soon to be, 2 cannons, 1 shield battery. A little bit more vulnerable. It is a little bit more vulnerable, but the first Colossi are arriving, and we do not have Hive Tech. We don't have an Infestation Pit, which means not just no Lurkers, but no Vipers. So the quality of the army is getting better and better for MaxPax. The size is in favor of Wayne. As Wayne, he's close to maxing out. There we go. He does push in, collapsing on the army. Does actually get a surround on these Stalkers. The Colossi are exposed. The Banelings will connect. The Colossi getting quite low here. They do lose their shields, but they back off in range of the overcharge of the shield battery. Oh. And the Colossi will barely live. And again, we did not touch the economy. Like Wayne, he pushed in. That is true. But he traded with Stalkers. He didn't touch the probes, didn't touch the economy, didn't touch the Colossus. MaxPax is holding. But here comes wave number 2. The second wave does come in. Nexus taking some damage. Lings, they get into the mineral line. Oh, a little bit of indecision there from Wayne. But there we go. He does eviscerate those probes. 24 workers go down. The main army of MaxPax will hold, but we do get a surround here on the Nexus. Oh, well. Again, Wayne, a little bit indecisive, but he will go for the Nexus. He will get it. The base goes down. And that's all Wayne needed to deny the Nexus, deny the 5th, deny the 4th even. While he gets his 5th base up and running, MaxPax going for a counterattack, but Wayne is in position. Now, remember, Wayne is pretty all-in. He doesn't have +2, no +2 upgrades, no Infestation Pit, no Hydrogen, no Hive, no Vipers. Just pure Lair Tech Lingbane Roach Ravager. So the quality of this army, it's not amazing, and MaxPax, he can weather the storm. He can defend and survive and come out ahead. He's working on +3. Like, +3 attack is on the way, while we're still only on +1. So the longer this goes on, the worse it's going to be for Wayne. Wayne, he's on a timer. He has to end the game sooner rather than later. Meanwhile, MaxPax is stuck at home, but again, he hasn't lost a single Colossus. He's up to 4 Colossi already. He can start Disruptor production. He can go into Disruptors, he can go into Sky Toss. Storm would be amazing right now. But now MaxPax just focus on Archon production instead. And he's getting his 4th base back up and running. So Wayne does have momentum, but he has to be very careful not to let it slip away. Does push in. Big stage trap here on the Banelings. On the Lings and Banelings, they create a force field, a wall. A wall that Wayne cannot get past. Really good choke point there for MaxPax. Wayne trying to find another way in. Rolls the Banelings into more Archons. Another stage trap goes off as well. Oh my, the stasis traps. Doing so well here for MaxPax. Yeah, he cleans up the Lingbane, getting on top of the Roaches. And you can see the supplies evening up. You can see that, again, the quality of the army for MaxPax is that much better. But we're coming in with reinforcements. Can Wayne break through? Can he barely break through? Zealots, they warp in just in time. Banelings, they crash into Stalkers. Very good control, very good positioning here from MaxPax. GG gets called. Wayne, he smashes into a brick wall, and MaxPax holds, and MaxPax takes game number 1. GG. Oh my god. GG, well played again. Very good positioning there out of MaxPax, minimizing the damage that those Banelings could deal. They could not touch the Colossi. Every single Colossus, I mean, they should be renamed Immortals at this point. They refuse to go down. They gain so much value there for MaxPax. But I'll be honest, as amazing as the unit positioning was, which was amazing, don't get me wrong, I feel like the MVPs in that final fight were the Stasis Traps. The Stasis Traps were crazy. So often, they weren't just getting Ling Bane, but they were forcing these choke points, making the Colossi that much more effective, as their AoE swipes were doing so much damage, so much splash damage to the army of Wayne as he was trying to funnel his army through those Stasis Traps units. And yeah, with that, MaxPax, GG, he holds. He does hold, he does take game number 1. And Wayne, he was looking good, don't get me wrong. When he killed that 4th base, that was the moment, right? When he killed the 4th, that was the moment when Wayne had to make a decision, a hard decision. Do we double down, or do we throw down an infestation pit and tech up, right? And he decided to double down. He was stuck back at home defending against the Zealots. They were buying time, and by the time he finally pushed out, by the time he maxed out, MaxPax had 4 Colossus already. That's crazy. 4 Colossi to defend, and yeah, he traded beautifully, traded so efficiently. GG. With that, we're getting into game 2. Game number 2 on Solaris. Again, it wasn't a bad map for Wayne. Unfortunately, it was just a tough decision to make, and it's just a really brutal position to push into as time was working against him. We'll see if Wayne or if our Zerg player can tie up the series, or if our Protoss will extend that lead. As spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Solaris, we have our red Zerg player representing Starlight Twinkle. Down in the series, but not out, it is Wayne. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the red Protoss player representing Storm Gaming, the Danish Protoss. Leading the series 1-0, it is MaxPax. Here we go. But yeah, if Wayne was going to commit to the all-in, I do think that he did give MaxPax a little bit too much breathing room. I do think we needed a little bit more onus, a little bit more urgency behind Wayne if he wanted to commit. Because as we saw, the longer the game went on, upgrades were finishing, the army was being more refined, stasis traps were being thrown down, shield batteries as well. But yeah, just on the flip side, as we're going for another hatch block, drone is being sent out for a hatch block here across the map. On the flip side, a shout out to MaxPax, because under a lot of pressure, the grace, Bobby, grace under pressure, cool, calm, and collected. He was able to, defend beautifully there towards the end. Despite losing that 4th base, he did believe in himself, believed in his ability to defend, as the hatchery has been thrown down and boys are being pulled. So, winding it back, if you weren't here for it, Wayne did this same opener against Nightmare on Oceanborn, if you were here for it, in the semifinals. Now, Nightmare was able to deny this. He was able to scout it ahead of time and deny this hatchery from going down. This time, Wayne is able to throw down the hatchery and delay the expansion. For those that are curious, this is a macro opener. This is a macro build out of Wayne. This is not meant to finish. This is meant to delay the expansion and delay mining time for all these probes. Drone is forced to cancel. From here, the drone can go into the main, and we can gas steal that second gas geyser as well. So this drone has options as we try and delay the expansion even further here. Just patrolling around, being as annoying as possible. Oh, MaxPax, he has the money for it. And MaxPax can now expand. But again, a late expansion, and that was 6 probes. That was 6 probes not doing anything. So, as a result, Wayne does take an economic lead. But can he survive the counterattack? Now, the downside for Wayne is that he forced a Zealot. He forced out a Zealot. He forced out a bit of a stronger counterattack from MaxPax. So Wayne, he has to minimize his losses and make sure that he doesn't lose any drones to this. The Adept has arrived. We have Lings in position. Ling speed is delayed because of this build, as it is just now starting. Third base is in production as well. We'll see if MaxPax can out-trade his opponent. So far, picks off one Ling. Second Adept has arrived. We get a surround on the Zealots. But again, so much DPS there from those Adepts. As we're making our way into the mineral line, we do not get a drone yet. As we shade into the main. And it looks like so far the defense has been solid here from Wayne. Have I spoken too soon? Oh, it's close. The Lings, they barely take down one of the Adepts. The other does shade away, but Wayne doesn't lose a single drone. Very nice. You saw how close MaxPax was as well. He did get into the mineral line, but Wayne, he did pull back in time, did preserve his workers. And with that, the game is going to be settling down, where Wayne is just droning up, saturating his bases. MaxPax back at home going for a Stargate, going for a Void Ray first. Very interesting. Okay, with a Void Ray opener, we can go into a lot of aggressive builds behind this, and it will be hidden. The goal here for MaxPax is to kill specifically this Overlord. This Overlord needs to go down, and then Wayne won't have any idea what MaxPax does next. And there it is. We do come across it. The Overlord will be killed, will be shut down. So a nice catch there from MaxPax. And the question becomes, what tech do we go for? We have our answer, Glaive Adepts. Now, if you remember, we saw a very similar build from Nightmare, and I called Glaive Adepts, and he went for Blink Stalkers instead, which caught me off guard. I was like, oh my god, like this is a hero build. Like, only hero does this. I stand by that. Technically, there is a Blink variation of this build, but it's very niche, and I don't expect MaxPax to whip it out. This should be Glaive Adepts, but we'll see. As the Oracle does dip in between the bases, looking for some economic damage. Spores are in position. Queens, they're rotating over. And we don't find much damage. Meanwhile, the Twilight Council is done. The gateways are completing. We do have, I believe, 4 gates in total. And we're soon opting to go for our upgrade of choice. Again, should be Glaives. As the Void Ray is forced back. And there it is, Glaive Adepts. Okay. I'm sane. I was like, yo, if we see Blink again, I have to like question my entire life here. I have to be like, oh my god, is everyone just catching on to the hero build? Nah, it's gonna be Glaive Adepts here from MaxPax, which is like the standard follow-up here without a Forge. Again, no Forge, no upgrades, and this can be deadly if Wayne skips out on the Roach Warren. Speaking of, I don't see a Roach Warren. He's going for Banelings instead. This is risky. So Wayne is playing Ling Bane. It looks like Ling Bane into Hydra. As up. Oh, we do force the cancel just barely on that 4th base. Very nice done. The Void Ray escapes as well. Oh my god. Very clutch moves there out of MaxPax. But this looks like Ling Bane into Lair Tech into Hydras from Wayne, which is good against Blink Stalkers, not so much against Glaive Adepts. We are so heavily reliant here on the mass amount of Lings, and on specifically the Banelings being in position as well. Now, thankfully, Wayne, he cut drones. He hasn't even saturated his 3rd. He's cutting drones really early on at 52, and he's amassing Lings right now. He is ready for these Adepts, or as ready as he could be. Here we go, the Adepts, they have arrived. They catch the Banelings! A rough moment there for them to morph in. We commit to the shade where we got fully surrounded. Yeah, the Lings are in position. They shut down the Adepts, and we do still deal some economic damage. We have 2 Adepts. No shot. 2 Adepts here at the 3rd base. They kill 9 drones on their own. Not like this. Almost 10. That was almost a perfect defense. We kept up with the shade. We connected with Banelings. We cleaned up the main bulk of the army. But a handful of Adepts did get into the 3rd base, and damage was still dealt. Ay, ay, ay. With that, Wayne tries to go for a counterattack. He has no Banelings left. We have good SimCity, and MaxPax, he holds onto his 3 bases. Wayne is stuck droning, and he is going Ling Bane Hydra. So just like that, MaxPax is ahead. Again, you cannot afford to lose that many drones here against these follow-up Glaive Adepts, and they have paid for themselves. MaxPax with a nice worker lead, working towards Blink and +1. Now, this is the downside of this build from MaxPax, is that because he went Glaives, these upgrades are late. Blink is late, +1 is late. It means that MaxPax is stuck at home a little bit longer. He doesn't really have much of a map presence. For him to move out like this, if he does commit, is risky. It's risky because he doesn't have anything to support. He doesn't have Blink to escape us around. If Lings collapse on this army, then these Stalkers will fall. And there are 60 Lings, but they're on the other side of the map. Stalkers have been revealed. It looks like Wayne wants to go for a counterattack. Honestly, with 60 Lings, he could surround this, he could clean this up, but again, going for a run-by instead. It does run into a brick wall. Stasis traps are being thrown down. Blink is finishing up in 10 seconds. Oh, the stasis! Oh god! It does go off, catches most of the army. A massive stasis in MaxPax. He can keep on pushing. +1 finishes up just in time in this base. It's gonna go down. Things snowballing out of control in favor of MaxPax. The hatchery does fall. Queens are coming in. Stasis still not running out, and we have another behind this. Speaking of, does trigger on those Lings. Now with the stasis running out, it looks like Wayne, he will force this back. Gets it easy around here, does catch 4 of those Stalkers. Very nicely done, but he did lose the 4th. That's the problem right now. It's 3 base versus 3 base. Never a good thing for the Zerg. As it's trying to get into Hydras. Again, the gas income so important when you are going Hydra. Need as much gas as we can, or at least the rich resting gas guys are here at the 4th. Behind this, MaxPax sticking with a Swarm Tail style. It is going to be Mass Blink Stalker into Charge Lots. We're still not going into Colossi or Storm or Archons. Just a gateway-focused army. Which, again, is quite an army to work with. It is quite aggressive, I should say. We're going to be warping in, very in the face here of Wayne. And the goal, deny the 4th, over and over again. Stalkers are pushing in. Prism getting ready for a backstab. And again, there's barely any creep to work with here for Wayne. It is receding. And more tumors going to be going down. We do catch a Stalker. And again, we're just distracting the main army, keeping the attention towards the north, and the Prism goes down. Oh my god. We have a couple of adepts here into the natural, but the Prism was sniped in the main. Very good positioning out of Wayne. Did snipe that War Prism, collapses here on top of some of these Stalkers. And only 2 drones went down. These Hydras in the main base, they did clean that up. Wayne, he's holding. He's keeping up. And remember what we said earlier, Lingbane Hydra does beautifully against Mass Stalker. Now we have Colossi on the way, but the Colossus production was delayed. The Prism was shut down, so no harass. And Wayne, he's not looking too bad. His 4th base is back up and running. He takes advantage of that risk-stretching gas geyser. Of the rich gases, the 4th base is going to be denied, and we can keep on pushing. MaxPax is up against the wall. Can he hold on? Can he survive this? A lot of Stalkers going down to the Hydras as we stutter step forward. Overcharge is pop. There's only so much it can do. There's just too much DPS. Bailings, they crash in. Ooh, but we're running out of Lingbane. Running out of Lingbane. Bailey's taking it to the middle line. Big connection. 16 probes go down. The Colossus comes out just in time to clean up some of these Hydras, but it's too late. The damage was done. We have crippled the economy. We have broken the 3rd base. Just barely. Again, the Colossus was too little too late. Wayne, he is going to be forced back. But he has to just pull back, reinforce, rebuild, remax with more Lings, with more Hydras. I'm loving the creep highway. Again, we have very limited tumors available here, so the Overlord doing what it can. And Wayne isn't tunnel visioning. That's the infestation bit. We're getting ready for Hive Tech. I don't think we need it, but I do appreciate that Wayne, he's thinking further ahead. Getting ready for those Vipers. Ling's going for a counterattack. Oh, actually, Ling's coming in for a surround. Blink is on cooldown. And we do catch these Stalkers. Blink just barely coming off. Colossi getting a lot of swipes, but again, there's barely any support. There's barely any support here for Max. Actually, stutter step forward. Can we get the Colossus overcharges pop just in time? One Colossus goes down. The other is being kept alive, but I can't say the same for anything else. As the Hydras are trying to break through. Not the best trades, but we focus on the Nexus. Oh, it's so close. Nexus does fall. MaxPax knocked down to 2 bases. GG gets called, and Wayne, he fights back. He puts a point on the board, tying up the series 1-1. GG. Let's go. GG, well played. Again, things are looking a little bit shaky there for Wayne, but he was able to get his 4th base back up and running. He was able to reestablish it, able to get into a decent Hydra count, and that Colossus switch was a little bit late. To wind it back a little bit, the reason why the Colossus transition was delayed, if you remember, was because MaxPax wanted to try to pull Wayne apart. He was actually saving resources and banking on that Warp Prism. He was banking on a massive warp in into the main base while pushing towards the 4th base at the same time. Was not expecting Wayne to be in position. He killed the Prism. After that happened, that's when we threw down, and that's when we started working towards Colossus production. But by that point, Wayne was stabilizing, and he was able to get up into a solid Hydra count, and of course, break MaxPax before he could get into any splash damage. Whether it was Colossus or Storm or Disruptor, the splash damage was just a bit too late. And with that, we're tied up. Let's go. Let's go. We have a back and forth. That's all I wanted. That's all we did want here. And now we're finding ourselves in game 3 on hard lead. That one Colossus has a lot of work to do. It did. The stark contrast between game 1 and game 2. Where game 1 we had like 4 Chad Colossus. Here in game 2 we only had the 1. For a couple of seconds we had 2. But here we go. We're getting into that 3rd game. As a reminder, this is still a best of 5, so we still have plenty more games ahead of us. But this is to determine who gains momentum and who gains a lead in this series. As spawning in the bottom right hand corner of hard lead, we have our blue Zerg player representing Starlight Twinkle. It is Wayne. And spawning in the top left hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the Danish Protoss player, the red Protoss representing Sidestorm Gaming. It is MaxPax. Here we go. Wayne, interesting, going for a 14 hatch. Okay. A little bit inspired by some of the Koreans. It was a 14 hatch into a 15 pool. Tis a variation on going for the low ground hatchery here to get it up and running, to not be forced to take the unnatural natural. It is quite important to actually do something like this on hard lead, just because the rush distance by ground is quite short. It's the shortest out of any map in the map pool, so you do need to make sure that you're safe against something like a Twilight Council opener. Ooh, and it's gonna be, yeah, 14-15 opener out of Wayne. Delayed gases, so a very safe opener here from our Zerg player. Gases will be delayed, link speed is going to be delayed, but we're going to be able to get into a secure setup. And how will MaxPax respond? What will we get into? CranKy for GG. we'll get on it, Bobby. We'll get on it. One day, Bobby, one day. So now we are just settling in. MaxPax going for his gate expand into the Cybercore. Standard opener out of our Protoss player. We're just waiting to see the positioning of the second pylon. And waiting to see the tech of choice. Based on the pylon positioning, this looks like a Stargate opener. As we saw, MaxPax is willing to open up Stargate into Void Ray. That is on the table here. But after what happened in the last game, I imagine this is going to be an Oracle opener, not a Void Ray. But we'll see. As pylon has been thrown down, Stargate is on the way. And likewise, Wayne back at home is just going to be droning, takes his gases, doesn't delay them for too much longer before going for his third. Okay, third hatchery on the way. Again, we're just kind of settling into the early game here. Spreading that creep. Still just waiting for our first unit of choice from MaxPax. Waiting to see whether it is going to be the Oracle or if he spices it up with a Void Ray or a Phoenix. As he does fake out a move out. There we go. Interesting, actually. He's opening up with a single Adept. Okay, so only a single Adept opener, going for a Stalker as a follow-up. Now, with this Stalker, he's going to be able to zone away this Overlord, and the Stalker does hide the build. It makes it look like a Twilight Council. Typically, you skip the Stalker when you're going for a Stargate opener, so very interesting here from MaxPax. Meanwhile, the Adept gets across the map, takes down some of the Tumors, will deny some of the creep, and Wayne is in the dark. The Oracle is going to reveal itself, though. We do head over towards the pillar, and we will focus on that Overlord. We'll get a kill. Third base is on the way. Second Oracle as well. And it's going to be on Wayne to be in position. He's got 2 queens in the main base. We have 2, soon to be 3 queens at the natural. No Spore Crawlers yet. The third base is looking vulnerable, but there's nothing mining here, thankfully. So we'll see if MaxPax can find some stray drones. Does get 1. Does get a transferring worker. Not bad. Second Oracle towards the left. Third Oracle on the way. And we'll see if Wayne can keep up, as, again, there's nothing quite here at the third base. No drones to kill either, though. Doesn't get much damage done. Queens are in position at the natural base. 1 drone falls at the third. Second drone gets forced into a Spore. Saved just in time. Quick moves out of Wayne. Will hold. Oof. So we force a recall on that second Oracle, and so far the defense from Wayne has been pretty damn crisp. He's lost 2 drones, which is less than ideal, but I mean, actually I say that, is pretty ideal. Against a triple Oracle opener, that's pretty damn good here for Wayne. MaxPax back at home, going for a Twilight Council and a Forge. Should be +1 in Blink. Bearing in mind these Oracles are still alive, and we're going to be able to gain some more value here. We can still pick off a couple of units. We can still find some economic damage. Queenies are pushing forward. Good target firing here on the Oracles. And the Adepts will commit to the shade towards the third base. Boys are being pulled, and damage is going to be done. We get 2. We're going to get a third drone. Oh, and barely not a fourth. 3 drones go down. Stasis Trap into the main base. Catches 3 drones as well. So MaxPax makes some magic happen here. Still nothing amazing, but is still gaining value. And as I say that, gets another 2 drones at the third. And still is kept all of his Oracles alive. Getting a better Stasis Trap here in the main base. Catching half of the drones. Ay, ay, ay. A lot of workers not going to be mining here in the main. And Wayne is going for a Baneling counterattack. I was not expecting this. He's got a 4th on the way. This is not an all-in, but this is very committed nonetheless. A very committed attack here from Wayne. Can he make this work? He's had enough defending. Yeah, the Oracles are going to be able to focus on as many Banelings as they can. They head towards the middle line. Good positioning here from MaxPax. He will hold on. 2 Banelings do make it in. Big connections. 6, 8 probes go down. Half the mineral line. Not too bad. 8 workers do fall, but we're soon to counterattack. Once +1 and Blink kicks in, MaxPax can move out. Can it soon move out? Lings once again, they try to collapse on these Stalkers. They're going to be able to get quite a number of them. Boys are being pulled. Yeah, the Oracles are out of energy. We do get 3, 4 probes. 5 probes go down. Alongside 4 of those Stalkers, and we get a surround here on the base. Wayne, oh my god. He's getting a lot done. Denies the 4th, cripples the economy once again, killing 15 probes. And Wayne, he threatens the natural base. There is a full wall off. And MaxPax is going to be able to hold on. But Wayne, he's achieved quite a lot with this. Unfortunately, his drone count has been lackluster, so he doesn't have the best follow-up, but he's droning as we speak, taking a 5th base as well. 5th hatchery. No higher form of tech. It's still just Lingbane Roach Ravager with Roach Speed in production. Oh, but we can see that MaxPax, he's working on that next step. He may have lost a lot, but we're working towards a 2nd Robo and a Bay. Once again, double Colossus production. Double Colossus production here from MaxPax. And just like what we saw in Game 1, if we don't want a repeat of Game 1, Wayne will need to take up, and there it is! As if on cue, infestation bits on the way. We will gain access to Hydras, to Lurkers, more importantly, to Vipers. That's how we deal with Colossus. We need those abductions, we need those yoinks. And Wayne will soon have access to that, as he has taken his first step. MaxPax pushing onto creep. Clearing up a couple of tumors. Wayne likewise getting ready for his own Ling counterattack as well. I mean, MaxPax should be aware that the Lings are missing. He does get a couple of drones on the right-hand side. Wayne ready for his own counterattack as well. Still not pulling the trigger. Waiting for MaxPax to move out. But those Colossi, they are amassing a bit of a supply block for MaxPax, unfortunately. Just waiting for that Nexus to finish up. There we go, Colossi production does continue. Roach is being caught out as the army gets pulled out of position. Lings, they come in from behind. They go straight for the middle line, straight for the stack defense. And the shield battery is going to go down. A couple of probes as well. Not too bad. Damage was dealt. We bought some time. Wayne is in the midst of maxing out. And the Hive is almost done. We are so close to Viper production. We just need a little bit more time. But MaxPax, he's not giving him that time. He's pushing onto creep here and now. Wayne coming in for a surround. Stasis trap not good enough. Bailings, they will crash into the Colossus. And the Colossus fall. The surround was good enough. Who needs Vipers? As we collapse here on the Colossus, there's one more left behind this. Gave some big swipes here on the Roaches. But we do catch it. It cannot escape. There's no way out. There's no War Prism, no juggling, no micro. Only Stalkers do remain. And Wayne, he can keep pushing. Oh my god. Okay, he's going to be forced back. He's going to be consolidating his army, getting a 6th hatchery as well. My god. Working his 6th base. He's got Hive Tech, Ultra Cavern on the way. Do we have any Vipers? We have one in production. One Viper in production here for Wayne. And MaxPax, he's struggling. His Colossus count was just reset. He had 3. He was about to have 4. And now he's down to 1. Oh, down to 2, sorry. 2 Colossi. Not a bad number, but again, Wayne is maxed. These Zelt's going to be buying some time, forcing Wayne to turn back around, while MaxPax reestablishes this center base. Again, as we saw in Game 1, if MaxPax is given time, he will be able to just stabilize. Wayne, I'm sure, is aware of that. But again, with this time, at least Wayne, he is still taking up even further towards Kindness Plating, Ultra upgrades, Adrenal Glands as well for his Lings. Still a couple of seconds off. Now, Wayne doesn't have the most efficient army. Like, the soup does lie. Even though Wayne is maxed out, the Roaches are inflated supply. So, Wayne can't really break his opponent. He can take a fight, and he should trade. We need to get rid of these Roaches. We do need to get rid of them to make room for the Ultras. Here we go, Viper coming up! The feedback! Again, really good control there from MaxPax. Feedbacks the Viper, forces it back. And this position, I don't know if we can really push in, but we're going for it. We're going for it nonetheless. The Lings, they get roasted. And the Roaches are forced back. Again, Wayne, he is remaxing with those Ultras, but MaxPax, he is looking solid here. And I'm not in love with the Ultra choice. So, Ultras, they do amazingly if MaxPax pushes. If he decides to push onto creep, then Ultras, they can collapse on the army, they can get a surround going. But trying to break these defensive lines, Ultras, they get stuck on SimCity, they get stuck on pylons, cannons, like, they're not ideal pushing into bases. And once again, the feedback takes down the Viper. And we only had one. We only had one Viper, and now we have 0. And how do we deal with the Colossus? Without any Vipers, it's gonna be difficult. It's going to be difficult here for Wayne. Roaches are going down. You see Wayne pushing in towards the center, but he runs into a wall of Protoss, takes down an Archon, but loses so many Lings in the process. And MaxPax, he does want to go for a counterattack. He's been building up more and more Immortals. Now, something that typically we would be seeing here from the Zerg player, especially if they had a good enough economy, is a Spire and a Greater Spire. As the Immortal count gets higher and higher, these Ultras, they melt. Like, the Ultras, they are just... They can't really do much to this army. They are so fragile. As you can see here, another Ultra goes down, and another. We clean up the army. Lings, they come in from behind, but the Colossi, they deal with everything else. And Wayne is in a lot of trouble. These have been expensive losses, and he's still committing to more Ultras. We should be transitioning out of Ultras into either, again, Spire Tech into Greater Spire into Broodlords, or Hydra Lurker. Or Hydra Lurker Viper. Either one can work, but not Ultras. Not like this. Not against how many Immortals? 6 Immortals! 1 for 1. Yeah, and MaxPax, he's snowballing out of control. He's pushing on through. You can see Wayne trying to collapse on this position, but into all these Immortals, like, he just cannot touch the army. At the same time, Zealot Rama on the left-hand side, 8, 9, 10 drones going down. We cripple the economy here of Wayne. As they're losing worker after worker, base after base. Big storm here on the Lings. Again, the Ultras, they can't close the distance. They cannot get on top of the Colossi or the Stalkers. And Wayne, he's crumbling here. MaxPax is snowballing out of control, takes down the base. GG gets called. And MaxPax will take a lead in this series, taking game number 3. GG. GG, well played again. Ultras have their place in ZVP, but once your opponent makes enough Immortals, you do need to transition out of them. That's the power of Zerg. The power of Zerg is how fluid you can be with your remaxes, right? That's why, like, Muta switches are so terrifying. Switching into Corruptor, Broodlord, into Hydras. That's the power of the macro of Zerg, is that you can very quickly switch from one army to the other. Being stuck on Ultras like that, unfortunately, Wayne had no other tech structures. He didn't tech towards Broodlords, didn't tech towards Lurkers. He had nothing else to work with. Going back into a Lingbane Roach Ravager also wasn't really an option, because Immortals, they're good against not just Ultras, but also Roaches as well. So, yeah, Wayne, he was stuck in a really awkward position. The only way out of this, the only way to make this composition still work, is if he had invested further into more Vipers. But remember, he only made 1. That's maybe my biggest criticism out of that game. I know there's a lot we can talk about having the lack of tech to switch things up and stuff like that. If we really wanted to make this work, we did need more Vipers. We only had the 1, and we never got an abduction. If we had additional Vipers, we could maybe pick away at the Immortal count and slowly get like one, maybe 2 Immortal kills every now and then, and make sure that MaxPax didn't hit critical mass. Same with the Colossus, but spellcasters were lacking there for Wayne, and MaxPax thrived as a result. And with that, MaxPax is 1 game away from taking the series. Wayne has to fight back here and now to tie things up and force the ace match. Here we go. Here we go. Oh boy. Here we go. No Infestors. I guess Infestors can kind of work, with their Fungals. It's not amazing anymore, but regardless, spellcasters in general would have helped. And here we go. We're getting into our next game. We're getting into game number 4. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner. Bottom right-hand corner of Oceanborn, we have our red Zerg player representing Starlight Twinkle down in this series. He needs to win this game to force the ace match. It is Wayne. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the blue Protoss player representing Psystorm Gaming from the land of Denmark. 1 game away from becoming this week's ESL Open Cup Americas champion for the week of 213. It is MaxPax. Here we go. Uno más. 1 more is all he needs. Again, in the absence of all the Koreans, of Clem, of Skillis, of all these players that were traveling for IEM Katowice, MaxPax, he is here to claim as many ESL Open Cup wins as he can. And who can stop him? Wayne, of all players, rose to the challenge here. And he did well for himself. Like, he was able to take a game. Very nice. More than what Lambo was able to do last week, for example. So Wayne, he did make MaxPax bleed. Did prove that he is mortal. But can he kill him? Can he go the distance here? Can he go all the way? As MaxPax is going for a gate expand, Wayne going for a hatch gas pool. Standard opener here from our Zerg player. Did opt to take the unnatural natural. Something that we can now bring up here, especially with this base, if we do spread creep and do focus spreading creep across the map, is that Wayne has the option to try to go for an all-in as well. He has been relatively aggressive, but we haven't really seen too many all-ins here based on Roaches and Queens. And Roach Queen based all-ins are very common on Oceanborn. Very common. Will Wayne embrace that? We'll see. We'll see how he does adjust here against MaxPax. Fun fact, I believe, if I remember correctly, we casted ESL Open Cup Europe last night, and Wayne also took a map off of MaxPax there as well. It was a best of 3. They faced, I think it was in the quarterfinals of last night's tournament, but Wayne also took a map off of MaxPax then as well. So, yeah, he's kind of making a trend out of this, showing that he can, at times, go toe-to-toe with MaxPax. Hasn't taken a series yet, though. That's the thing. Like, taking maps is great and all, but we need the consistency here to actually take MaxPax down. So here we go. First Adept does get across the map. We have our take of choice. Going to be a Stargate opener once again. From MaxPax, has been a Stargate every game so far. We have seen him go Void Ray that one game, but it should be an Oracle. Should be an Oracle first from MaxPax. There it is. The Oracle is on the way. Back at home. We do commit to a second Adept this time. We do shade in towards the mineral line. We get one drone. Oh, and yeah, just not good enough positioning here from Wayne. It doesn't get us around. The Adepts will slip away. And MaxPax does manage to escape. It didn't deal too much damage. He killed one drone and one ling. But does at least keep the Adepts alive, and he can always shade back in once he has regenerated those shields. Second gateway on the way. Ling speed is 10 seconds off. But before Ling speed can finish, we shave off a couple more of those Lings. The Oracle has right. We catch a drone. As we shade into the main base, the Oracle dives in as well. The Adept tanking some of those shots, and we get 4 drone kills. Very nice damage from MaxPax. It did cost him the Adepts, but worth it. It is worth it as long as he's able to hold on to that third. Wayne immediately going for a counterattack. Again, he is aware that the Adepts are not at home to defend. As we do have a defensive warp, and we do get a surround. Adept is going to fall. Wayne getting some damage done. At the same time, though, does lose 2 drones across the map. Yeah, so Lings, they focus down the pylon. They're not going to get the base, but they get another Adept. Pretty nice damage, actually. Getting 4 Adepts in total, but lost 8 drones. And the Oracles, they're all still alive. That's what's important. We still have these Oracles up and running. We can still get even more economic damage done. And Wayne. Okay. Going for a lair first. Interesting. So this should just be for Roach play. It was around a 5-minute lair timing. I was curious if it was a little bit earlier, but nah, 5-minute lair timing here should be for Roach play. Keep an eye on Wayne. As the Evo Chamber does finish up, and yeah, there we go. +1 range is in production, and there's that Roach horn that we spoke about. Meanwhile, Adepts, they do shade into the mineral line. They get another drone. Only one, though. As I say that, the Oracle comes in from behind. I love that MaxPax, time and time again, he tries to use the Adepts and the Oracles in conjunction, where the Adepts, they draw away the attention of the Queens, and then that creates an opening for the Oracles. Done it multiple times this game so far. And it has been quite successful. Behind this standard transition, we have +1, we have Blink, we have a Gateway Explosion. Going to be 6 gates in total on 3 bases. A pretty standard setup from MaxPax. Ooh, and this I was not expecting. We have taken all of our gases. 2 gases at the natural, 2 gases at the third. We're still missing a gas geyser here in the main base, but we are going straight into Hydras of all things. Okay, so Roach Hydra. A pretty expensive army, is what I will say. It's why typically you have Ling Hydra instead, just because you want to preserve your gas for your Hydras. Roach Hydra is a decently robust army, though. Very old school, very hard of the swarm. We'll see if Wayne can make this work. Again, in general, I do appreciate Hydras against Stalkers, but Roaches, they aren't the best buffer for the Hydras. They're quite expensive. There we go, MaxPax is pushing. 4th base has been spotted by Wayne. And the Stalkers have been revealed. Yeah, there we go. We're done with Roaches. We're producing Lings. Lings and Hydras to reinforce. Wayne going to be joining up, saturating his 3rd, getting up to 69 workers. Nice. 69, the key number here to support this kind of army. Wayne going for a bit of a run by, but there's a cannon to defend. Do pick off a couple of those Stalkers. Now, what's interesting to me is that Wayne isn't droning. He's still producing more of an army, more Lings, more Hydras. A good concave here from Wayne. But he is not getting his 4th base up running. We have some light saturation here, but we haven't droned up to 73 or even 80. We have the option to, by the way. We could drone up, but yeah, we're committing. We are going for a big 3-base push. Ravagers are morphing in. Lings are reinforcing. Wayne, it's going to be all or nothing with this attack. He has Hydra range. He doesn't have Hydra speed. And yeah, he does force a recall. MaxPax, he now realizes what's going on. He realizes how much danger he's in. As Wayne is all in. He's pretty committed with this. Here we go, Wayne. Ahead in army supply, pushing towards that 3rd. Stasis traps are on the way. Ling's trying to get into the mineral line, but they're going to be cleaned up as well. Overcharge is popped. Decent piles to take down a couple of those Stalkers. We focus down the shield battery, but these Stalkers, they're doing so much damage to the Roaches. And as the Roaches fall, the Hydras are exposed. And this is what I was worried about. The Hydras, they are going down one after the other. Expensive losses here for Wayne. And the Blinks are just too good. We're running out of buffer, running out of Lings. The defenses are too good, is what I meant to say. The shield batteries have gone down. Yeah, MaxPax just blinking further and further back, trading so efficiently, and now we can dive on top of the army. There's nothing left here. Nothing to support to protect these Hydras, and we clean everything up. Wayne had nothing behind this. He didn't even have Hydra speed. No +2, no Hydra speed, no saturation at the 4th, no 5th. MaxPax, he is so far ahead. He's ahead in economy, ahead in workers. The Roix Bay is on the way for Colossus production. Now we start up Hydra speed. We didn't even have Roach speed. Oh my god. I didn't realize how committed that was. No, not even any Roach speed there, just to produce that many more Hydras. Ay. And Wayne has some recovering to do. He's got some catching up to do here. MaxPax being so aggressive. Oh my god. Moving out even without his Colossi before they're up and running. Wayne setting up a surround. He does collapse here on that Immortal. Big pick off. Immortal goes down, and MaxPax did overextend. Yeah, just a little bit too cavalier. Meanwhile, though, maybe it was worth it because Wayne was distracted. Zealous, they get into the natural base. 8 drones go down. Wayne's worker count was already struggling, and now even more so, as he does have to replenish those drones. Wayne going to be moving out. Knocking down these rocks. Going to be pushing towards the 4th and 5th base. You see Wayne distracting the army, buying time. trading against those Lings. And again, Wayne is still committed. By the way, Wayne still hasn't started +2, by the way. He's still very all in. It's still a 3-base all in out of Wayne. Pushing on forward and getting on top of that 4th base. And he will zone away the army. Yeah, probes have to evacuate. Wayne's army is being split up though. Yeah, the first Colossus has arrived. We have the overcharge as well. Good balance here on the shield battery. We try to focus down that Colossus, but we're losing so much in the process. The Colossus goes down. And Wayne, can he break the 3rd? It's getting so close. Across the map, massive counterattack here. Zealots, they're at the 3rd base. They're in the 4th. They're in the main. Drones are falling left and right. Wayne was already all in. And now his economy, it's almost non-existent. Both players are hurting, but MaxPax, he still has the base up and running. Wayne, he goes for the 4th. He was able to kill the 3rd. Stalker's trying to come in from behind, picking up a Ravager. Whatever damage they can get done. Meanwhile, back at home, the Zealots, they're finally being cleaned up, but not before killing 48 drones, and we get even more. And GG gets caught. It looks like Wayne, he's run out of steam. There's nothing else left. His army gets caught out, and MaxPax will survive. Will take the series 3-1, becoming this week's ESL Open Cup Americas champion. GG. GG, well played. For the week of ESL Open Cup 213, Wayne, he does make it to the finals, but he just was not able to bring it all together here towards the end. He was very committed, very all in. I've never quite seen that all in from Wayne before. Specifically, I'm referring to Wayne cutting workers at 69 and rushing into a Roach Hydra based all in without Hydra speed, without Roach speed. I mean, the map helps. The rush distance by ground and Oceanborn is short, so it does help with that. Unfortunately, again, he just barely wasn't able to break the 3rd base with the first wave, and he felt so far behind after the first push failed. I'm not entirely convinced by it, I'll be honest. I'm not entirely convinced by that specific build on Oceanborn. It just feels like it takes a little bit too long to really get going, and it feels also quite expensive as well, because he did invest so much into the Roaches initially, which did mean we had less Hydras to work with, for example. In the end, he just wasn't able to break through. Things got chaotic, to be fair. Things got very chaotic towards the end. But again, Wayne was all in. MaxPax wasn't. The quality of the army for MaxPax was getting better and better. Wayne, he just committed time and time again. Just doubled down, all in after all in. There was no +2 behind it. No additional gases. No further tech. It was all on the table. But a shout out to Wayne for making it this far, for making it to the finals. It was not an easy road. Shout out to Wayne because he took down Nightmare. He took down Nightmare to make it this far. And he also took a game off of MaxPax, which I don't know if people were really expecting. Like, MaxPax, he's the best Protoss in all of Europe. We expect him to be dominant, and he was dominant, right? He won the tournament, but Wayne did show that MaxPax can bleed a little bit and can take it to MaxPax from time to time. Regardless, GG, well played. Congratulations, and I hope everyone did enjoy themselves. Is Light dominating the EU ladder? I still haven't laddered on an EU. I do want to, though. Whenever I have time, I do want to have a ladder stream, and I would love to play on EU one of these days. One of these days. Am I getting deaf, or is Light calling MaxPax Max? You're hearing what you want to hear. Oh no, Sinistro. No, don't go deaf on me. Not like this. I don't think I said Max, but maybe I did. I don't know. It's possible. It's possible. Yeah. MaxPax has red blood. Weird. Not even blue. Thanks, Wayne, for showing us. True. It sounds like it. Oh no, my apologies. Maybe my head is tilting. Oh no. Regardless, GG, congratulations here to MaxPax for taking the series, for taking the tournament. And we will be catching up on ESL Open Cup Americas 214 tomorrow. Tomorrow we have another catch-up stream to cover the 214th edition of this tournament. So stay tuned for that. It's going to be tomorrow in 12 hours, actually. In 12 hours time, we're going to be live on the channel with some more StarCraft. So again, the StarCraft does not end here on the CranKy Ducklings. We try to keep you entertained for as long as we can. So 12 hours time, mark your calendars. We got you covered. We do have you covered. On top of that, we're also going to be going over some of the IEM replays. I'm not going to be touching the IEM games that were played on the mainstream because we already saw them. But because we were there live, because we weren't able to watch watch the streams, we missed out on the side streams, on the B and C streams. So we will be going over those replays in the coming days and in the coming weeks. So we're going to be playing some catch up with IEM Katowice to figure out what's been going on. The big one, of course, Cyan versus Maru. I have no idea what happened in Cyan versus Maru. I look forward to catching up with that series and many others as well. So yeah, look forward to it. Look forward to it. That's going to be here on the channel over Thursday, Friday, next week as well. There's a lot of replays to go over. And speaking of replays, a big shout out to Sinistro. Exactly, a big shout out to Sinistro because he, of course, is the big brain behind the ESL admin team, and he allowed for us to actually have the replays to begin with. So thank you, Sinistro. Thank you so much for all the work you do. We do appreciate it. You do run a tight ship, and without you, you know, I'm sure ESL would be worse off. Would be worse off. So thank you. Reaver Pack has the open and close qualifiers. Yes, they do. I already casted them though. I provided the replays, Papi. I provided the replays. Aye. Does it feel weird being right side up? What do you mean? I'm upside down right now. We're right side up in Australia. Fun fact. Team effort. Yeah. Team effort. Of course. Sinistro and the team. The work is only awesome because the team is awesome. Yeah. I understand. It's great the team that you've been able to cultivate and bring together. Much love. Sinistro. But yes, with that, we are going to be done here for the night. Again, as a reminder, in 12 hours, we're going to be live once again with some more ESL Open Cup action, and we'll be live with the IEM Katowice qualifiers, the IEM Katowice replays thereafter as well in the coming days. So thank you so much for watching. Thanks so much for the support. I am starving. I'm going to go get some food. It is almost 10 p.m. here in Poland, so I'm going to go indulge and get some food, papi. So take care. Take care, everyone. Take care. Hope you all enjoy yourselves. Hope you enjoy your week. Hope you have a break as well. It was a very intense weekend full of StarCraft, full of IEM, so get some rest, everyone. You know, recover your sleep schedules. I imagine a lot of people ruin them just to stay up, just to watch those finals, just to watch as much of IEM as possible. So rest up, recover, and we'll see you guys tomorrow for some more action. Until then, hasta luego, pierogi time. I still haven't had any pierogis. I still haven't had any. Smudge. You telling people, yeah, you rest, not me. Look, do as I say, not as I do, okay? Get some rest, papi, get some rest. I won't, though. I won't. I haven't had any pierogies yet, but I will. I love them. I will update when I do get some pierogies. Until then, stick around. We're going to be giving another StarCraft streamer a raid. Not too sure who. I do see 4Jumi is streaming. Maybe some other StarCraft streamers out there as well. Let me just double check. Wayne is... Oh, that's a different Wayne. My apologies. There's 4Jumi. There's Florencio. SE2 Full. Do I see anyone else? Anyone else that we can send our love to and support? I think it's gonna be Jimmy. The German Brothers from Germany. Skylar's playing. Oh my god. Oh, Trigger just went live. Trigger. We've been rating for Jimmy a lot. I think I want to send some love to Trigger. Yeah. We'll send some love to our lovely Canadian Protoss player. So yeah, stick around, give Trigger some love, give him some support. He's been live for 2 hours. Until then, we'll see you guys tomorrow. Hasta luego, papi. Hasta luego. Bye. Bye. Hasta luego. Gah.